So you guys, something hit me just now that I can't believe I didn't ever realize. I was talking to my daughter about something that God had shown me today that was so cool. It was so sweet. That's for a different message. That one needs to kind of chew on it a little bit more. But I was talking about Jesus and the wedding feast and where the very first miracle Jesus did was turning water into wine, right? And I'm sitting here thinking about it after I put her to bed, and it hit me that the very first miracle that Jesus ever did, now we know that Jesus is God in the flesh, that he came with all authority and power when he was anointed by the Spirit, and we know all that. So I think sometimes we overlook these details, but the most amazing thing popped out, God showed me tonight, was the very first miracle he did in turning water to wine was actually prompted because his mom saw something in him. If you remember the story, here he was at the wedding and they ran out of wine, and his mom told them, "Whatever he says, I want you to do it." And Jesus replied, "It's not my time." It's not my time. And yet he did what his mom saw in him. His mom saw this. She saw before the rest of the world did what was alive inside of him. She'd been observing everything. And if you read the story, even through Luke, she was hiding everything in her heart that she saw going on, everything she heard from the angels when she took him to the temple on the 8th day with Joseph. Just all of these things she was hiding in her heart. She was watching her little boy, raising him as any mom would, and she saw him. And his very first miracle he ever did was because his mom told them what she saw in him, said, "Listen to him. He's got something special." And it just hit me tonight that so often we want to do these big things for God, and he just showed me tonight that one of the biggest things we can do is to see the gifts that he's put in our children. That maybe our words, our chance to see in them and to speak into them who they are, and to call other people's attention to these gifts that they have, will set them on a path to change the entire world for all of history. If it wasn't for his mom, I wonder if that would have been his first miracle. I wonder if it would have started that day. Just another question to ask one day when we see him face to face. But until now, or until that point, it was such a reminder for my heart, and I just want to share it with you that we are doing big, huge work as moms, for those of you that are doing this. And just my prayer for myself is that I would see the gifts that God has put in my kids, that I would be able to speak into them, that I would be able to just be gentle with their hearts, and just see that, man, all the areas that they're gifted in are the ones that the enemy wants to come and mess with, right? So they may even look like their weaknesses now, but sometimes their weaknesses are often what God uses to just show off in such big ways. So my prayer for all of us, I guess, is that we would have eyes to see what God has put in these children, that we would have the confidence to continue to pray over them and to speak into them, and that one day they too would see these gifts and they would be ready to act on them, because the world needs them.